Monday Night Football, baby. We're here.
Touchdown in 46 seconds. Punches back. Touchdown.
Back with another edition of the RPS Best Ball Stream, ripping some DK Best Ball, talking a little training camp here on a Friday afternoon. I'm, of course, JSU, and we're going to get into all the camp news. We're going to get into the trade stuff with Debo, what to do with Debo Samuel being signed, not traded, but being signed by the 49ers after the Ricky Pearsall injury. Who knows if Ricky Pearsall plays this year? I'll give my thoughts on it, what I'm doing with Ricky Pearsall, Debo Samuel in my rankings, which I did adjust. If you are a Run Pure Sports member and you are using my rankings, I did just update the rankings. I'm pretty sure they're now updated on the site, so you can go reload those rankings with the Debo Samuel stuff and Ricky and a few other movers that I have up the board in some of the late rounds there. So we're going to get into a DraftKings $25. I mean, really, we can get into whatever contest you guys want, but we'll start with the DK 25 to get us going here. So we'll get a countdown. My guy, Lee Rat's first in chat. Absolutely. So let's do this here. Let's all, because I assume maybe 80% of you guys are probably pulling out your phones to rip a draft here. So let's all do that right now. Let's pull out our phones here. I'm going to pull up the DK app. I'm just retweeting this now. So I'm going to pull up the DK app on my phone here. So if everyone else wants to do it now too, and remember, by the time you hear me with the 3, 2, 1 count, by 3, I'm probably just about in there, but I'm pulling it up right now. So give you guys a second here. All right, so I'll give the countdown. Anyone who wants to get in, we're talking the $25 big flagship millie on DraftKings, $3 million to first. They're going to have 3 different Millie Maker winners in this contest over on DraftKings, the biggest contest in best ball going right now. So shout out to DraftKings here, $20 million prize pool. All right, so we're going to do the countdown here, and I'm going to jump in. So if everyone's ready, 3, 2, 1, and we're in. And we got 5 of 12 here, so plenty of time. If you didn't get in right off the rip, hopefully you jump in here. We are, I think, 8 of 12 now, so still some spots. If anyone wants to get in, I'm going to pull the board up on the screen right here, and then we can dive into all the camp news here that we got in. Bang, 6 of 12, so Lee Rat's in there. Good to have you in there, my friend. Appreciate you hanging out here, guys. If you have any questions, anything going on, one more spot left too, with training camp, anything like that. I've been scouring, trying to find all the hype videos here. Who's the players we're hyping up after just 1 or 2 practices, maybe 3 for some teams, whatever it is. But we got some guys that we're going to definitely get into. Mr. Griff is in here as well, 8 of 12. We're still waiting for 1 more to get in. So if you want to hop in, $25 to enter, $3 million to first over on DraftKings here. We got to get this thing rolling here. So 2 more spots, 1 or 2 more spots left. Let's see here. Bang, we're filled. All right, there we go. So we're filled. Let's dive into some of the news here. Obviously, the biggest news right off the rip is what to do with Debo Samuel here. Where are you moving him to in your rankings? In my rankings, what I did with Debo Samuel here. And I'll just start off with, I was very high on Debo Samuel. I've been saying this for about 2 weeks. You always get these questions too, like, what's the point of drafting early? What's the point of this? And obviously, some of it is just, we want to get more action down. Maybe we enjoy drafting, it could be a couple of those things. Also, like, I like to get some different teams. I like to mix it up. And if you draft in every month, right, you're going to get different teams just naturally based off of the ebbs and flows with the drafting. Guys go up, guys go down based off of news, all that type of stuff. But I've been saying for weeks, if anyone's watched my shows, I've been saying one of the main reasons of drafting, for me at least, is I want to try and get as much as I can of these guys that I know are going to sign. And when they sign, they're going to move up 30 plus spots. Deebo Samuel was one of those guys. I said it. I said Deebo's one of them. Stephon Diggs is one of them. I just got talked into the Keenan Allen stuff by my guy Sacrilegious. So I guess he could be one of them too. But either way, I think those are guys that, you know, if you've been drafting for a while, you should have been trying to get some of, because now Deebo 170s, 180s is just absolutely gone. Like it's just gone. It's a dream scenario now. He is in a lot of people's rankings. I think he's in like the Ricky Pearsall range. Honestly, I think a lot of people moved him up into that range there, and I don't blame them for that. I had personally Ricky Pearsall a little lower than consensus. I think he was around 98 in ADP on DraftKings, maybe 100. I had him in the 120s. This was pre-injury. I did not want Ricky Pearsall, so I had him a lot lower. If you use my ranks, you probably never got Ricky Pearsall. I think I have 0 Ricky Pearsall on DraftKings for this best ball season. So that's good. I was pretty happy about that. But Deebo was definitely someone I wanted some of. I think he's my 4th highest receiver on UD. I think I got 15 to 20% on DraftKings. So I was pretty happy about that. I wish I honestly had a little bit more, but on DraftKings, but I was pretty happy with the UD ownership there. And same thing goes with like Stephon Diggs. I think we should be drafting Stephon Diggs right now. He's going to sign soon. When he signs, he is going to be someone that moves up the board just naturally. And I'm telling you right now, look at the Deebo stuff. I mean, I'm seeing sharp guys that are like, yeah, he's in the 120s, the 110s. Like I'm just pulling him right up there in that range. And I'm not saying that's wrong, because honestly, I think he probably pays off that tag. Like that to me is the right range. I pulled them a little lower than that though, but I got no problem with drafting him at 120 or even 110 really. For me, I just got so much of him at 180, but I still probably take some shots here and there on him when I do the San Francisco stack and stuff like that. But it's definitely someone I'll probably cool on drafting while everyone's trying to get their bags. But I understand it, honestly. I understand why people would do it. But this is why I always talk about like thinking ahead a little bit with some of these guys that I think are pretty clear, are just really good bets here. And a really good bet for me is CeeDee Lamb. I know CeeDee Lamb at 11 just seems, honestly, I get kind of bored just clicking him every time. But when he falls to 11, I don't know what else to do here. So yeah. Cyrus Allen seems the hot news. Yeah, he's definitely someone we'll get into. 14% Deebo. That's pretty good. I mean, 14% is fine. Peak's talking about how I'm gay. Appreciate you, Peak. I'm sure you're enjoying this show here as you call me names, but appreciate the watch anyways. Appreciate the click. You want to comment? That's fine as well. But you can comment from the sidelines right now. We're up again here. Drake London goes. Saquon Barkley, what to do? So I moved Saquon up in my latest rankings just a little bit because I was getting very little. Do I want Saquon Barkley though? I also love Kenneth Walker. I'm gonna go Kenny Walker here. It's close. I have Kenny Walker 1 spot higher, so for me, but they're pretty damn close right there. So, yeah, it just is what it is. Sorry, Mr. Griff. Oh, where's Mr. Griff in this show? Let's see here. Okay, you're at 4. You went JSN here. Lee went JT. If anyone else is in this draft too, let me know where you're picking from so I can check out your team throughout the stream here. Mr. Griff, you were hoping for Kenny Walker? I don't think he was gonna fall to you, my man. I don't think so. I've seen him fall a couple of times, I guess. I guess. I don't see him fall regularly though in like the 4th round. Lee goes JT and Omari and Hampton. I started out CD and Kenny Walker. Let's see. I think another interesting thing too is what to do with like the Malik Neighbors stuff. If you were someone like me who's got very little Malik Neighbors, I don't think it's a dumb idea if you want to pull him up into that like 2-3 turn. Because the boards are just changing. Like you can still make really good teams. The fact that some guys got Malik in the 4th round or the 5th round in some drafts, they did, but still overall, that doesn't mean you still can't build a winner pulling one or two players ahead of where some guys were drafting them early in the season. And again, I think it's a little different between him and Debo, because like Debo is literally going to go from 170 to like probably like 120, but still like you could take Debo in that range and still build a really good team and hit on the right late players and stuff like that. That's not crazy to me. So if you think Malik Neighbors is just like full go, I mean, he looks really good when he's running the routes. I don't think he's still like, he keeps saying the same thing. Like he had the second surgery. The timeline wasn't the correct timeline though. They're saying that like whatever the dates were, the timelines that were reported were just wrong, but he did have the second surgery or whatever. But either way, to me, it's like if you want to draft Malik Neighbors, he looks like he's going to be ready sooner rather than later by the videos that we're seeing of him running routes. So yeah, I don't blame you for pulling him up here. And honestly, like look, like ETN now falls into the 4th, sometimes the 5th round, and he was going in the 3rd for a little bit. We saw Rashid Rice go in the 3rd, maybe the very beginning of or the middle of the 4th, and now he's back in the 2nd. So like you can do these things. Like it's not that big of a deal. Look, Colston Loveland goes at the turn there. Colston Loveland, cover boy. If you're not drafting Bears, I don't know what to do for you. The Bears won the Millie last year. They're probably going to win the Millie this year. They're just stacked. They have a great Week 17 matchup with the Lions. I want to be invested in that game. I think you just buy the Bears. And whether you want to full stack the Bears, some people are like, well, they're a little rich. You know what I mean? Okay, that's fine. Just draft one. Bang. Done. You don't have to draft a full stack every single time and spend your 3rd, 4th, and 6th round pick on Luther, Colston, Rome, and then you probably want Caleb in the 7th if you can get them. You don't have to do that, but I would invest in some of these Bears, man. And right now, Monungai, this is another big story, but Monungai wasn't at practice again. And I think it's the 2nd day in a row, and we don't know why. So, I mean, hopefully everything's okay. Hopefully it's just like, I don't know, like a personal thing and he's fine and healthy. And it was just like, maybe, I don't know, maybe you need to be away from the team for a second. But hopefully we figure out why that is. Cause I do have some Monungai bags there. So yeah, let's see. Got Sack in my DK3 right now. The man is legit a grinder. I see him more than anyone drafting. Yeah, well, pretty much you're going to see the two guys you will see the most in everything are probably from Leg Up, and they're Sacrilegious and Shady. Literally those guys they play everything. You know what I mean? They play everything they're allowed to play. I don't think anyone has more volume than Shady Advice, and Sacrilegious, like you said, I mean, he grinds everything, all those $3 satellites, the whatever. He's in all those things. So yeah, sacrilegious, the man. And he's been pounding the drum beat for Debo. I know the kick has been extremely high on Debo. So you gotta shout out things when they're right on the money. And the Debo stuff, pushing up Debo, they've been right on the money about drafting Debo Samuel this year for sure. We're back up at pick 35 here, and let's see who we got. So another guy I moved up that I want shares of is actually Emeka Ibuka. I don't have a ton of Emeka Ibuka right now, but I want to draft more because I think another team we should be trying to invest in is the Bucks. The more I look at it, the more this team's just going to sit in shootout games and just they're going to play from behind a lot. They got a pissed off Baker as their quarterback right now. They didn't get the deal done with Baker Mayfield. You can tell he's pissed about it. He's doing interviews and he's not happy. You know what I mean? He just wanted to think about football. And now I don't care what he says. He says like, hey, listen, I had the deadline where we stopped the negotiation and the deadline is passed and I'm done. I'm thinking about football. But you can't tell me when he goes home, that's not all in the back of his mind. He's not like, these fucking assholes, they're going to make me work for it again here. Look at Byshell Tootin, by the way. I mean, talk about a riser. Byshell Tootin in the 4th round, almost the 3rd. This is what I mean, though. This is what I mean about the Malik Neighbors stuff. See all the different flows. I mean, Byshell Tootin was a 6th round pick. And Breece Hall was a 3rd round pick here. I think I gotta go. No, I gotta go T. I think that was close. I didn't know. Honestly, I didn't know what to do, but I think T. Higgins is the right pick there. So we started out CeeDee Lamb, Kenny Walker, Emeka Ibuka, T. Higgins out of the 11 spot here, a 0-1-3-0 start. Yeah, I think back to what I was talking about before, but like the Byshell Tootin thing, like now flip the board, Byshell. Okay, that's fine. But like Byshell Tootin was a 6th round pick early in best ball. Now he's in the 4th round. So for people to say like Malik Neighbors in the 2nd is silly, I don't think so. We're seeing this stuff change all the time. Colston Loveland's now a turn pick. I don't think I've ever seen Colston Loveland at the turn, and now he's a turn pick. And honestly, he went before Trey McBride, and people will laugh at this, but I think they're pretty close. I mean, obviously it's the hype. It's the hype. He's building out a Bears Lions stack maybe. So he's doing like the Gibbs with Loveland. Sometimes Loveland does fall to that turn on the 4-5. But again, he's just like, no, give me Loveland. I'm buying the hype. He's all over the practice field. He's catching ropes from Caleb. They look in sync. The hype on Colston Loveland, man, it's real. And this was one of the reasons why I was lower on Trey McBride. I knew this would happen. I knew this. I don't get everything right. Like I didn't get the Malik Neighbors stuff right. It looks like here the way it's looking right now. But like the Trey McBride, Jeremiah Love stuff, I just knew people would sour on these type of guys on bad teams, right? Trey McBride coming off a career year, Jeremiah Love with the high draft capital. People love rookies, but I just knew the more reports came out about the running back room, Tyler Algier, all this stuff, Trey McBride, Colston Loveland, I knew stuff like this would kind of flip and change, and it's happening. Like Love, I've seen him go in the 4th round now. Like that's just the case. 4th round, Jeremiah Love. That is where we're at here. We got Jeremiah Love and Byshell Tootin going in a similar range, which is just crazy to think about right now, the way drafts have gone earlier. But yeah. I have seen Shady some, seen Sack a lot more. Yeah, no, I'm just saying when you look at it, those are probably the 2 guys that draft the most, I feel like. I think Sack told me he's already like 2,500 drafts in. So Yeah. Yeah, you're all in on the Bucks. Easily my most drafted team. It just makes sense, right? Like the Bucks, they don't want to sign their good players. They let Mike Evans walk. They don't sign Baker to the contract extension. Vita VA wants a trade because he wanted more money. Obviously, he wanted money and stuff. Now he wants out. It just looks like it's going really downhill. And the Bucks organization is like, well, if we're not going for it and we're letting some of these guys go, then screw it. You know what I mean? Let's see what the trade market is for Vita. Let's see what we can get. Let's not sign Baker yet. Let's see where we're at. And that's probably what they were doing. That's probably why they were lowballing them. They might want to move on and get younger. Who knows? Maybe they just don't want to invest that type of money in a quarterback in Baker Mayfield. If their organization's going in a different direction, maybe they want it to go in like a younger direction. I don't know, but maybe that's the idea of like the Mike Evans gone. It kind of sets stuff in motion to maybe get younger. Kind of makes sense to me, honestly. But yeah, no, definitely a buy. You want to talk about a team that's just playing in a perfect situation. I think the Bucks are in a perfect situation, and I think that their schedule, like you look at their playoff schedule, who has a better schedule? Like the Saints, the Falcons, and then you get the Rams, who you're going to just for sure be in a trailing script the whole time. Won't be an easy matchup, but I don't know. Those are games that I think are going to put up points, and I think are going to be really fun for fantasy. So those are teams I want to be invested in. Teams with bad defenses. If they lose Vita, this team's defense is going to be really, really bad. So it's interesting to me what happens. I'm really interested to see what this team does here. That's unfortunate. Both running backs went. JMO falls, though. I'll take a little JMO here. I think that's interesting. I don't have a ton of JMO. Parker Washington goes. And you know what? I don't have a ton of Joey B, but let's just get a quarterback here. I want a quarterback. I don't like these. I don't like the running backs. My wide receivers, I could have drafted Tyson. I really like Tyson where he's going right there. But I already had 4 good receivers. I think getting my first quarterback stack here was probably the way to go. Let's see. Lamar Jackson. What with Lamar Jackson? I don't understand. Oh, the team? St. Brown, Rashid Rice, Kyron Williams, A-Chain, and Lamar Jackson. Yeah, I mean, not my preferred way to go, but Lamar Jackson does have late, stackable options. Actually, a lot of late stackable options where I don't think you need Zay Flowers. Not that you don't want Zay Flowers, but I don't think you need him personally. So I don't hate it. I don't hate it. He's clearly, I mean, I prefer to take Lamar in the 5th or 6th as opposed to Josh Allen in the 3rd. You know, I just think I rather take the discount on Lamar at that point. What sucks is the running back room just dries up, so it's going to be like not a 0 RB because we took Kenny Walker, but it's going to be interesting what we end up with at RB. But at least I got at least one quarterback combo with T. Higgins. I got 4 really good receivers in CD, Emeka Ibuka, T. Higgins, JMO. I do like that start right there. That's fun. Yeah, no, you don't need Flowers. Obviously, you want Flowers, like you'd like Flowers, but he's another guy. Like Zay Flowers is pushing up draft boards. You know, he's getting ranked higher and higher. Still kind of in that like 3rd round bucket, but was falling to the 4th round for a while. Now he's a 3rd round pick. It just everything moves. That's why I'm like, I wouldn't be too worried. Like, even if you're a first time drafter and you're getting into drafts right now, which I know a lot of people are, it's, July 31st. I can't imagine. I would assume that like a ton of people, maybe not the people that are like maxing, the DraftKings Millie Maker and maxing a bunch of contests and playing like 500 or 1,000 drafts, but like the people who just want to play like, 25 to 50 drafts, something like they're all coming in now. Like this is the time. I wouldn't be worried about who goes, especially early, especially in the early rounds, because it's crazy how it just shifts. Let's see. I just did 125 DK draft yesterday. I'm at 20% Neighbors, loaded up my bags when he was going 3-4 turn. Think Neighbors goes back to the second round. I do. Yeah, I do, man. He went in the second round at the turn here. And one thing I noticed too is when some of these, like when the draft assist tools, like the kick and stuff like that, you can tell when they're starting to push guys up the board. And it's the first time where I've seen him in the queue in the second round. So that just tells me like people are getting aggressive on someone like him, which I do understand why some people are getting aggressive here. Another guy people are getting aggressive on is Jonathan Brooks. I'm kind of in on it, but I've been in on it from the start. I think it's fine to kind of stick with it here. You also have the Sam Laporta stuff. I'm actually going to go Sam Laporta here. I think either way, I'm going to get one running back. So bang. And I still get Brooks here. Like I said, if I can get the more Lions, Bears, Bucks, these are just teams I want to be invested in. I don't care. Like I want to jam a bunch of those guys and then just see where the chips fall at the end of the day. So those are just teams like I'm just going to push up a little bit more because of their environment. I mean, no one talks about the Lions defense. The Lions secondary is beat up. They lose, Terry and Arnold. Their secondary wasn't that great to begin with. That's a team that I think is going to play in shootout games a lot. Their offense is high powered. We saw what Petzig did when he was in Arizona, when that team got behind and he just chucked 50 times plus down the field. I mean, what do you think he's going to do with Jared Goff if this team gets behind? I mean, it's going to be really, really set up for a team like that to just crush. Blake Corum goes, another guy that everyone's pushing up boards, which I do agree with here. We got the Chuba Hubbard, Jonathan Brooks flip. Another thing that, if you were drafting Jonathan Brooks in the, 110 range or something like that early in the season, like that was one of the main reasons. Like at some point I knew this would happen where he'd flip him. He's just the exciting guy. You know what I mean? He's the young, exciting guy. Everyone's seen Chuba. They know Chuba. He's fine. He's usable, but Brooks has like the big time, I think, upside if he can stay healthy. Big if, but we'll see. I don't know. Yeah, Lee, you prefer Hubbard. I think at this point, I can understand people saying they prefer Hubbard because the flip has happened. Hubbard was going in the 70s. Now, he's pushing almost the 90s in ADP. And I think that was my problem with Chuba to begin with, is I think him and Brooks should have just been closer in general. To me, they were way too far apart. And now it's where I think around it should be, because I do think it's a toss. I think Brooks is going to have the inside edge if he can prove to the coaching staff he can handle a decent workload. I think that's going to be the key. Can this guy stay on the field? Can he avoid getting banged up? If he can, I think he's sitting pretty good. but we'll see if he can do that. All right, let's see. We're up on the clock. I do need a running back here. I don't have a ton of JK. The kick saying JK. I do think he's probably the best on the board, so we'll go JK Dobbins. Do you think Tootin and JCM could shoot up ADP also? Year 2 running backs with bigger roles, great offense, just need a few positive camp news. Tootin did. Tootin already has. I mean, the positivity, the bullishness on Tootin is big time. It's been happening kind of slowly all summer. Like I said earlier in the video, he was a 6th round pick, moved into the 5th round, went from like the late 5th round to the early 5th round, has been kind of sticking around there. And then in this draft, he goes in the 4th round. I say that's people kind of getting in on him. Let's see here. I'm going to go. I do have a Buka. You know what? I'm just going to get my quarterback here. I don't know if Baker's going to fall to me. He sometimes I can push it, but I'm going to be aggressive on Baker. I want Baker Mayfield, and I'm at the end of the board, so I don't trust him not making it back to me here. But yeah, no, Tootin is definitely someone like I think he's a 3rd round pick. So, or like a late 3rd, 4th round, like right where he went here, like this 3-4 turn. I think that's exactly where he kind of should be going. Ahead of like Scattaboo. I'm not a big Scattaboo guy. Like guys coming off that ankle injury that he had, like I think it's going to be a tough first year back for Cam. Not to say he can't get it done. Not to say he won't come back at some point and look really good. I just think early and middle, it might be a struggle for him. I think Tyrone Tracy's good enough to take some workload off of him. So I've been drafting a little bit of Tracy and lower on Cam Scattaboo just in general. He is a fun player though. We all love the backflips and doing the stuff, and he's streaming or whatever. And yeah, he's a fun guy. But I think someone that I'm going to be pretty low on coming into this year, and we'll see from there. But Zach just went Travis Hunter, Big L. Well, my friend, the kick is very high on Travis Hunter. So, you know, Big L or not, the kick is definitely bullish on Mr. Travis Hunter here. And I got a decent amount of Travis Hunter too. So I was out on him last year. I was like, we're taking a wide receiver cornerback this high in fantasy football. Again, though, this is back to my point of all these like drafters, they all love like the new flashy thing. And then right when it doesn't work, they're just immediately out. Like, you can't tell me buying on Travis Hunter last year, like compared to this year, it's like a completely different thing. Even if you think he's not a good wide receiver or he's just going to play cornerback a majority of the time, getting him at pick 160 is totally different than getting him in like the 70s or 80s or whatever, 60s, whatever he was going at last year. Like that crap was insane. And buying on people, look at Ramondre Stevenson last year, and now look at him this year. Buying on these type of guys, Travis Etienne, now A-Chain or whatever. These are guys that helped you win in fantasy football that a lot of drafters didn't want to draft. And they won a guy, you know, helped win guys a lot of money last year. So I don't know. I'd be careful on just like totally dismissing it. I think too, the fact that he's running more on the outside when he's there, I think is going to hurt Jacoby and Brian Thomas Jr. the most. So I'm getting like much lower on those guys, and fine with Parker Washington and Travis Hunter late, but that's about it here. All right, we're back up on the clock. Let's see here. I think a lot of solid receivers on the board. Mark Andrews is still here. I don't like necessarily need a tight end, but I feel like he's a pretty good pick. All right, let's do it. Mark Andrews. I got a lot of Mark Andrews. Can he just not be dust? That would be really great here. See what the 12 spot does. Casey Concepcion falling a little bit. Aronde Gadsden goes. Does this guy have Herbert? No. Okay. Oh, I forgot. So JCM, that's another guy that he kind of went up and down. I wish I needed a wide receiver because I want to take Stephon Diggs here, but I got to take my guy Missile. I just got to. He can't catch passes. He doesn't catch passes, right? How about that bomb? This dude, they're going to get this dude to football. Keep drafting Woody Marks or whatever, not drafting Keaton Missile. They're going to get this dude to football. He's a big play guy. Another guy that's getting hyped, Brennan Thompson. I'm telling you right now, like Mike McDaniel is going to find ways to get these speed guys the ball. He did this stuff for a reason. Like these guys are going to touch the football. ADP this year is much more proper. Last year, Hunter at 50 was dumb. That's what I'm saying, though. It is dumb. It was dumb. It was just silly, right? But again, he's not in the 50s this year. He's in the 150s now. Like, you know what I mean? If there was ever a time to take a swing on a guy that got drafted really high and everyone is just kind of out on because of the both sides of the field, but playing more cornerback. Because let's be honest, they do need him more at cornerback. That's obvious when you look at the team. They if you look at the team and you look at where they're strong and where they're weak at, like you can't tell me one of their biggest strength is wide receiver. Wide receiver, you got Parker Washington, you got Jacoby Myers, who's just solid. You know what I mean? He's not like amazing, but he's just solid, strong receiver. And then you get Brian Thomas Jr., who's I think is gonna be more of that like deep guy, but had all the hype in the world. You know, Travis Hunter, where does Travis Hunter fit in? He probably is the fourth receiver. But I also think he plays more cornerback, but if one of these wide receivers goes down, that could just be his route to going from 30 or 40% of the routes run to like 60. And if this man gets like 50 or 60% of the routes run in the 160s, then I don't know. I think he's a pretty good pick. I get being apprehensive about him, though. I totally get it. I was totally out on him last year. I thought it was the dumbest pick ever. But this year, it's like Deebo Samuel when he was going in once. Like, why aren't we taking the swing on Deebo? And now look, there he goes. Deebo Samuel went 147. Actually, that's pretty good. 147. I thought he was going to go way earlier. And this guy in the 3-hole, I don't know his whole team. Let's see. Puka, Bowers, Devontae, Garrett Wilson, DeAndre Swift, Jalen Hurts, DK Metcalf, Matthew Stafford, Kenny Gainwell, Jordan Mason, Tyrone Tracy, and then he goes Diggs, Samuel. I mean, that's doing it right there, people. Get them while they're hot. Get them while they're hot. Hunter is taking most of the practice rep set outside wide receiver, which means he can take snaps away from Jacoby and BTJ. Actually great for him in addition to P-Wash. 100%, Eric. That's the key right there. P-Wash, he is clearly, I think, the alpha already in that room. He's just the alpha. So if you're in on P-Wash, that looks really good right now. And I think it's not as good for the other guys, like you were saying. Okay, so we got 2 quarterbacks, 4 running backs, 4 receivers, and 2 tight ends here. Woody Marks is at the top of the kick. I don't have like barely any Woody Marks. I think at this point, though, I think my team does need a just pass catcher receiver. So I will capitulate, as one Davis Maddock would say, and draft the Woody Marks team right there. I do find it funny, though, how the Scribbling Madness lasted like, what, 24 hours? Because it was madness. And I'm going to take him here. Because I don't care. I'll up my bags. Red. CYC, what's going on? Good to have you in chat. My guy Landa, JSU just casually crushing afternoon drafts. My goat. Landa knows what's up. I'm going to get Landa on one of these streams, and we're going to rip one together, Landa. The next time, Landa, you're free and I'm on solo, you just let me know. I'll send you a link. We'll rip one. Jim Jerry, it's like drafting a backup RB in that range, or drafting a little bit of work and injury upside. Yeah. You're talking about Hunter. Yeah. 100%. You got that like contingency upside, and he still is talented. He just needs a little more refinement as a receiver, and I think I'm sure he's obviously been working on it. I like, he's just an athletic freak of nature, because you can't tell me that like playing both ways in the NFL is just, I think we don't realize how insane it actually is to try and do. Just the fact that they're allowing him to try and do it, which I thought like pre-draft, before he got drafted, I was like, there's no way a team's just going to let him play both ways. I was like, just let him be a cornerback. Like, what? And then they go up, they take all this capital, they go up and get him, and they're like, yeah, we're going to play him both ways. I thought that was insane. And now maybe he just can't stay healthy, and that's the case. He didn't stay healthy last year. But if you remember, right before he got hurt, he did have that massive game where he just crushed. And it started to seem like he was figuring things out a little bit. It might take some time, but again, he's not your 5th round wide receiver, your 6th round wide receiver. He's your round 14, 13, 14 wide receiver. You know what I mean? He's your wide receiver like 5 in a room, 6. I don't see what's wrong with taking a shot with that, but maybe I'm just off. I don't know. I do think, as boring as it would be, Tyler Algier is just a boring, okay pick in the 160s, late 150s, 160s. It is boring, but he's just exactly what a coach wants in a running back. Doesn't fumble, falls forward, is going to do everything right. He's just exactly what a coach likes. So that's one issue with Jeremiah Love. I don't doubt he's super talented. I don't doubt that they're going to try and get him the football, but I also don't doubt that they're going to respect Tyler Algier enough to also not forget about him. And I'm sorry, but with my second or third round pick, I want to at least have a chance where they could just be like, nah, it's all this guy. And I don't know if he has that chance. I think Tyler Algier is going to stick. Well, I'll tell you who I'm not drafting, guys. Take one guess. His name is Calvin Ridley. I'm definitely not drafting Calvin Ridley. I will draft... I'll draft Tesla, because I'm in on the Tesla stuff. then let's see. I'm probably going to draft my third and final tight end here. So right now I got a 2-5-6-2 build going. Cade Otton just goes. Another guy people are just screaming up boards is Jaden Blue. Look at that, 181.5 ADP on DraftKings. Zachariah Branch is a good pick here. There's actually a lot of good picks on the board right now. A.D. Mitchell, Jaden Blue, Tank Dell, Dontavian Wicks. But I got to take my boy, and it's a Week 17 correlation with my Buck stack, but Terrence Ferguson, come on down. I got a ton of Terrence Ferguson. Cade Otton went too, so I didn't even have to think about taking that bum Cade Otton. I could just take T. Ferg. I already got two good tight ends in Laporta and Andrews, so give me some fun with my last one here. So we got a 2-5-6-3 build going. I would definitely say my running backs are the weakest part of this team, but hopefully I can make it up at the other positions here. Hell yeah. Let's do it. Who's going to do everything except score touchdowns? Is that, I hope you're not talking, are you talking about Hunter? You might be talking about Hunter. Have you ever just not drafted a QB until maybe your last 4 picks? At some point, the other teams will stop taking QBs, and then you can actually draft decent players at the end of the draft. I've never done that. I've never done that. Oh, you were talking about Algier, Mr. Griff. I don't know, man. Algier seems like the annoying dude who's going to come in at the goal line. Doesn't he? I don't know. Again, like the Falcons always talked about how they just love this dude. And remember, he was taking looks away from Bijan at times. Bro, if you can take high value touches away from Bijan Robinson in the NFL, you can take high value touches like goal line touches away from any running back, because Bijan is the best running back in football. Like just the best, like pure running back in football. You give me like everything. Now, I think Jahmyr Gibbs is the number 1 fantasy running back, but I think Bijan from a skill standpoint is the number 1 guy. His added pass catching skills, which we saw last year, just unreal what that guy can do. I mean, Saquon said it last year before anyone else. Saquon was trying to tell everyone, this dude's unreal. Let's see. AH, do you like Myers at all? I could see Bowers and him having... Oh, Mayers at all. Yeah, I could see Bauer and him having kind of Gronk Hernandez season. 2 safety blankets for Mendoza in 12 personnel and huge injury upside. Yes. So one of the adjustments I made in my rankings, I did move up 2 other late round tight ends a little bit, but up to that point, Michael Mayer was like one of my favorite last picks if I needed a tight end. So yes, I love that. I'm totally in on drafting some Michael Mayer, whether you have Brock Bowers or not. You know what I mean? I think they're going to play a lot in 12. I think the moves that they made kind of solidified that, right? Their only receiver get is Jalen Naylor. I mean, tell me a more obvious sign than that, right? If that's your only move is Jalen Naylor at this point, you got to be thinking 12 is the way to go. And remember, in 12 personnel last year with Kubiak, they crushed in 12. So I would expect him to kind of move over and do similar things here. Let's see. I like a lot of late receivers right now. So let's go with, I'm trying to take some Keelan Black. I don't have as much CMC. Jordan James already got hurt. He has broken ribs or whatever. Like, if I'm going to be under on CMC, I find it dumb to not take some Keelan Black or whoever I think could be the number 2. And the fact that James got hurt has to make me think he has the inside track now. So I've made this mistake before where I'm like under on guys. I'm like, well, if I'm under on this guy or fading a guy, like why aren't I taking, especially like a running back like this, where it's like you could see like a direct path to being like the 2. So like if he goes down, Black comes right in. Like why aren't I just taking some Keelan Black at this point? So yeah, I want to make sure I correct that this year. Let's see, a few more. He just keeps grinding, bro. He'll keep doing it. Love the Black pick there. Yes, the good fella. Love that. Love that, man. Appreciate you. Do you like Tua or A-Rod stacks for week 1 DFS? Tua or A-Rod? Let's they still don't have pricing out for that, huh? I would expect it to be out soon. If it's not out already. I don't think it's out. I haven't seen anything about it. So let's see though who those guys are playing week 1. Tua or A-Rod? Well, they're playing each other. That's why you asked that. I'd probably say, it's a good question. I'd probably say Aaron Rodgers if I had to pick one. My issue with both those teams is I do think they're going to be heavy in the run game. And then, the Steelers, both these teams actually will be heavy in the run game and then like the play action stuff. I do think Tua is going to start as long as he's healthy to go, which he did participate. I think he said it like half speed, or they said it like half speed today. So it seems like the back issue that held Tua back yesterday or whatever seems like it's getting better if he went at least at like half speed. It does suck because Tua and Michael Penix are pretty injury prone guys, so hopefully one of them can stay healthy all year for my Drake London bags, because I have a lot of Drake London. But yeah, I would probably go A-Rod for that one. I think he gets the better matchup. And he does have a really good upgrade in the offensive weapons department. I mean, you go get Michael Pittman, who I think fits really well with Aaron Rodgers. You go get Jeremy Bernard in the draft. They're talking up Roman Wilson, which I don't know about that, but they're saying he looks good in the slot. They might try and move him around a little bit, get him on the outside a little too. That's really interesting. I don't think I'm going to fall for that, but I do think I'd be very careful about Aaron Rodgers and rookie wide receivers. I don't know if the Roman Wilson thing is what's scaring me, but it's more just Aaron Rodgers and rookie receivers that scares me with the Jeremy Bernard stuff. And I've been saying this for a while, so it's not something that I just thought of with all these reports. Like, this is definitely a thing that I think we should be kind of focused on a little bit here. All right, 2 more picks left here in the $25 milli. Then we'll recap it and jump in something else. What do we think? What should we jump into next? Should we do another $25 milli? Should we see if one of these like $59 ones on DraftKings will fill? The kick is saying tight end. I feel like my tight ends are pretty good though. I just want more Brennan Thompson. I think there's some really good late wide receivers. I think Brennan Thompson's a pretty fun click. I think Jacoby Lane here is a pretty fun click. I should have probably taken Lane first. Hopefully I don't get sniped. I think Caleb Douglas is really good in the late rounds. These are some guys that I've moved up even higher. Yeah, so I'm going to go Lane here. And we'll end this thing. I did want Eric All, but I just don't think with my tight ends, I don't think this team needed Eric All. Sam Laporta, Mark Andrews, and Terrence Ferguson is a pretty good tight end room here. So the finishing build is a 2-6-9-3 build. We got CeeDee Lamb, Kenneth Walker, Emeka Egbuka, T. Higgins, Jamison Williams, Joe Burrow, Sam Laporta, Jonathan Brooks, J.K. Dobbins, Baker Mayfield, Mark Andrews, Keaton Missile, Woody Marks, Dejon Stribling, Isaac Tesla, Terrence Ferguson, Ted Hurst, Keelan Black, Brennan Thompson, and Jacoby Lane. So we got some, week 17 correlation. I got a couple different stacks where even if I didn't get the week 17 stuff, I have some kind of like team stacks with Detroit. I got JMO. I got Sam Laporta. I got Isaac Tesla. I got the quarterback pairings with T. Higgins and Joe Burrow, Baker Mayfield, Emeka Egbuka, and Ted Hurst, who I love drafting some of. And then I got to bring back with Jacoby Lane, who I like. I'm trying to alternate my Lane Surratt picks, so I don't just end up with all of one guy. That seems kind of silly when you're drafting in volume. Even if you do like one over the other, I think you should be kind of spreading that out a little bit. But yeah, no, I definitely, I'm trying to alternate those there. So, all right. Another DFS question from user for DFS. How do you take down the Millie? Everyone is going to be on main plays and the lower owned plays are fringe. Well, hold on. I do want to look at some of the other teams, but I will just say for large field tournaments and stuff like that, I think everyone looks at large field tournaments and I think they kind of look at it like, oh yeah, I just got to find like the really low owned stacked and just find a bunch of low owned guys. And I think it's just the wrong approach, even in large field. What you really need is you need to find, like, you're going to have to eat some chalk. Like, you're going to have to eat probably two to three pieces of chalk, but then you're going to have to find, like, your quarterback is going to generally be low owned because quarterback ownership's normally spread out. So I wouldn't actually add that into what I'm talking about here, but I think you're going to have to find like 2 to 3 guys that are in that like 10 to 15% range, and then like 1 or 2 guys that are under 10%, and go about it that way. From like a game stacking standpoint, I think overstacking is always interesting just because it generally makes you unique and you don't have to worry about it. But I've found that I think people overdo the bringbacks. I think, the easiest way to go about it is like a quarterback with 1 to 2 of their teammates, and then finding another game to kind of game stack that has nothing to do with your quarterback, right? Just like you can do in best ball where, let's say you get sniped on a stack. Let's say you have the Bears, right? You have like Loveland and Rome, and you draft JMO, and you're like, okay, I'm going to get Caleb here, right? And you get sniped on Caleb. I think you can still build out a little like team stack correlation there in it. And it's the same way in DFS. I think people don't do that as much. And it's like, no, I think in general, more correlation is better, but I think people overdo the bringbacks with the quarterback and forget about other mini correlation bringbacks. So in general, I think that'd be my approach if I was just telling someone for the first time how to try and build. You're going to have to eat a couple chalk pieces. Then you're going to have to kind of spread out the ownership. You're going to have to find some 10 to 15% owned guys and some guys that are, under 10%, maybe 5, maybe 2 of those guys to kind of finish out your builds in some type of correlated fashion, but it doesn't always have to be just, my quarterback with 2 or 3 passing options plus 2 guys from a bring back, because sometimes that's just too much. You know what I mean? And I think people just overdo those at times here, even though, if you go even more than that, then, it sometimes is unique, but a lot of times people do it with the highest owned games. So it still probably doesn't work out half the time. Let's see here. I'm gonna say 0 for the first question. And how do I get Big T on? If you guys DM Big T and just overwhelm him, he'll get on. He needs to be overwhelmed though. He needs to be wanted. Big T's like one of those guys. He just wants love. You know what I mean? He wants a little love from you guys. He wants to be wanted. So it's not just me. I can't just call him up and be like, "Hey, Anthony, they really want you on a stream. They want some takes." You guys gotta be the driver of that. So if you want Big T on a stream, you gotta really push the envelope. You gotta get after him. Send him messages in Discord. Send him tweets. Tell him to get his friggin' ass off the couch and get him on stream. I mean, shit, I can barely get him on a baseball show half the time. He's so busy. He's so busy. He's traveling. He's doing whatever. But don't worry, football season. Big T's back. He'll be locked in by the time we get to September. But I will get him on a stream. It'll probably be late in August. I can't promise when, but kind of when he starts drafting. That's kind of when he starts doing his all of his drafting and stuff like that. So he'll be in the streets. I guarantee it. Oops, I missed this question. Bucks Baller, why is week 17 more important than week 15 to move on? Well, week 17 is just, I wouldn't say it's more important. I think people look at it more though, because they're like, okay, if I get to the point where I'm in this position in week 17, I want to make sure I have some correlation. But that doesn't mean you don't have to disregard week 15. But now it's okay, what about week 16? Because you still want to move on in week 16, right? You don't just want to move on in week 15. What about week 14? It's just we just keep moving the needle. It's at least week 17. It's okay, if my team is good enough where it can advance, if my team gets a good pod luck draw and it can advance to week 17, can I get enough correlation to get myself over the top? Is kind of the way I look at it. But again, like I said, I was talking about the Bucks week 15 and 16 matchups. They got the Saints and the Falcons. Now that doesn't mean you have to stack Bucks with Saints and Falcons all the time, but hey, take some teams where you take a Bijan and Mecca Ibuka type, you know what I mean? You take a Bijan, Olave, a Mecca Ibuka start. Do that. That'll be a little different. I don't know. So you can do stuff like that. You can look at the matchups. I mean, we could go through the week 17 matchups right now as we go through it, and it's going to be obvious, I think, at this point, which games you want to target. Now, things can change. Defenses can get banged up, everything like that. But Yeah, no, that's why people more talk about week 17 here. CW, I like to jam cheap chalk and fade the expensive chalk. Yeah, there you go. You go in there with a plan. You gotta take some chalk though. You can't just fade all the chalk. I think some people do that, and it's just wrong. Let's get into another draft here. If anyone does want to draft, let's just do another Millie. Why not? I was thinking about doing one of the higher stakes ones. But let's just do a $25 here. So I'll give you guys a second if you want to pull out your phones. If you want to get in on a DK Millie, $25 to enter over on DraftKings. A $20 million prize pool, $3 million to first. I'll do the quick countdown for you guys, the 3, 2, 1, and then I'll hit enter. So probably when you guys hear me, like I said, like 3, if you're trying to get in, then yeah, that's probably when I'll be hitting the button. First Chicago stack I've taken out of like 100 drafts. Well, my friend, you might have drafted the shipper in the draft. Oh yeah, JT Hampton, Zay, Luther, Rome, Caleb, Tucker Kraft, Jaden Reed, Kyle Monungai, Rashad White, Dallas Goddard, Jalen McMillan, Zach Charbonnet, Aaron Rodgers, Fernando Mendoza, Pat Freiermuth, Justice Hill, Rashad Bateman, Jalen Tolbert, and Kirk Cousins. Yeah, I don't normally do the 4 quarterbacks. I see why you did it. But I think, like, if you're drafting Caleb Williams here, I think you're okay with 3. That'd just be my take. But, yeah, no, the rest of the team, I mean, you don't got to sell me on Bears. I love it. I absolutely love it. All right, I'm going to jump in this. I got it up on my phone here, guys. So if everyone's ready, you want to jump in with me, I'll give the countdown here for it. So 3, 2, 1, and we're jumping in a $25. 6 of 12 here, so plenty of time if anyone wants to get in. 6 of 12. Let's get this thing filled. Oh, we're already 9 of 12. It's going to fill quick if anyone wants to get in. Rance does not like Lee's team. Donating to the pool might try to win satellite ticks. Get some tickets in there. Willie T23 coming in at the 3 spot. Let's go, Willie. Love that. Let's see Willie's team. Oh, Willie, I read your team. I liked your draft, dude. I was talking about I love the Diggs, Debo. I'm not in on Pacheco, but man, I like a lot of this draft, man. This is a good draft by Willie. You could say that your running backs are probably your weakest point. That's why you went 7. But man, you're winning at quarterback, you're winning at tight end, your receivers are very strong. Yeah. I mean, that's how you do it. If you're going to be weak at a position, you want to win at all the other positions, which I think kind of Willie set up to do here. So good draft. All right, I'm going to pull this back up. Let's get the screen. I'm in the 5 hole here. If you are in this draft with me, let me know which pick you are, so we can kind of check out your draft as we go. I see Lee again here in the 10 spot. We got Willie again checking in at the 4 spot. If anyone else is in here, let me know. The 5 spot. User, if you had the choice between low-owned Cam Ward, Wandell stack or Shuck Olave Gibbs stack, high-owned, which one would you pick for a main Millie? Well, I would probably, here's the thing. I would probably take the Shuck stack, but I'm probably not eating chalk in the rest of my build. if I have chalk in the rest of my build, then I'll take the low-owned Cam Ward Wandale stack. So it just kind of depends on how you're building that team out. So that would be my answer. All right, we'll roll with the JSN stuff here. Oh, how'd I miss my guy Jim Halpert in the 3 spot? Good to see you, Marvin Moms. Adam, do you guys draft different in the single entries? No, I do not draft different. Well, okay, wait, hold on, time out. Maybe a little bit, just because of the size of the contest. Like, for instance, I think in some of the smaller single entry stuff, maybe higher dollar, but smaller field, I don't think you need to jam in as much correlation as like in the bigger millie, where you're trying to beat so many teams in this big millie. So that'd be my main difference, Adam, is I think in a single entry, smaller field contest with less entrants in it, I think you have to worry less about like week 17 and like full on jam a stack. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think you have to worry as much. Just draft the best guys, the top guys. You know, I would still like a QB wide receiver combo there, but I don't think you have to force it as much. You know, that'd be my difference right there. All right, so Lee goes Justin Jefferson at 10. Let's see where he goes with the next pick here. Drafts kind of starting out the way most drafts do here. I guess CMC fall to 8, but I've seen that a decent amount. Genty goes at the 1-2 turn. There was a report about Genty maybe being involved more as a pass catcher. And I saw something about them talking up, like, I think it was a beat reporter saying, like, I wouldn't be surprised if Ashton Genty was like the second leader in receptions or something like that. If he's got the second most receptions on that team or whatever, then Ashton Genty is about to smash fantasy football. And I love Ashton Genty, but I feel like that's very bullish for someone like Genty. I don't think that's going to happen, but I think he's a really good pick. And I think he is going to crush. I just want to be involved in Kubiak, man. That guy turned Sam Darnold into a Super Bowl winning quarterback and got that offense clicking. JSN, I mean, look what JSN did. I mean, JSN was great, but like, look what he did. Some of these guys are going to crush for the Raiders. I hope it's just Bowers and Genty, honestly. All right. So speaking of JSN, and now we get Brock Bowers here who falls to us, and I will take some Brock Bowers because I was just talking about JSN and Clint Kubiak, and Brock Bowers could be the next. A little different than JSN, but by that I mean just an absolute stud who target share is massive and leads the league in, you know, receptions or something like that. Like, that is Brock. I think Brock Bowers can do that. Needs to stay healthy, obviously, but I think he can. Kevin, my poor Panthers are absolutely cooked with all these injuries already. We're pre-injury to be. Yeah, your Panthers are running uphill right now. Did they lose anyone else today that I missed? Oh, look, Tucker Kraft's off the unable to perform list or whatever. So that, is he still got the out tag on DK? Oh no, now it's the Q tag. You gotta love these Q tags. Shout out to DraftKings. Q tags are amazing. All right, our guy Jim Halpert goes Chase, Neighbors, and Brees Hall. So he's not scared. He's just taking Neighbors in the second round. He don't give a shit. I like it. I like it, Marvin. Oh my God. Don't you put Trey McBride at the top of the queue on the kick. No. No, we can't do this. I refuse. Let's go with Emeka Egbuka. I want more. I want more Emeka Egbuka. Give me more bucks. Brazel, whatever his name is, out for the season, but that was announced last. Yeah, but yeah, and then you guys, 2 offensive linemen got hurt. Yeah, you guys lose a. Was it a linebacker too? You guys have had the bad injury bug so far. What do you think about Puka and Devontae? I took Puka at 4, Devontae at 5.4. I think that's very reasonable. I have noticed Devontae start to slip in drafts, fall more in that 5th round at times. And I don't think you can argue with Ram stacks. They're going to score points. You know, the problem with the Rams are like, they're one of those teams, I feel like, maybe I'm just overthinking it, but like, are they going to be too good to where they're up so much that they're running the football more? They're not letting Matt Stafford kind of sling the rock as much as he did last year with his MVP year. But then again, that's probably just the wrong thought. Like, investing in good offenses, I feel like, is always a solid way to go. So Puka and Devontae, like, yeah. And then trying to get Stafford, I don't know how you can really argue against it. And they play the Bucs in week 17. Like, if somehow you have that full stack and you get to week 17 with the Rams, I mean, it's got to be like a guaranteed 30-plus point day for that offense. Yeah, 30-plus point. I mean, like, guaranteed. If they're all healthy, yeah. Yeah, Stafford's a weird one. He should get there, but some sick people out there will just draft Matt Stafford naked and ruin all the fun for you. I hope that doesn't happen, though. I hope you get him. Yes, Scorton. That's who it was. Yeah. I knew it was somebody. All right, so Lee gets Justin Jefferson, Kenny Walker, Jeremiah Love, and now he's about to take T. Higgins? I don't know. Josh Jacobs? Who are we going to take here, Lee? T. Higgins. There you go. I like it. I'm not as into the Jeremiah Love stuff, but I much prefer him at the later 3rd round than I do in the 2nd round, where you people were pushing him up. It's another guy we hit on. Damn it. Luther Burden goes. B. Mueller. He won't let me have any fun. Just the worst. So all these guys I'm like kind of lower on. This sucks. Javonte, Josh Jacobs I'm not as low on. I'm just gonna take Javonte though, because I feel like I don't see him on this half of the board as often. So I'll take that, but don't love it, to be honest. I think like the Jaden Blue stuff, I think Javonte is going to be fine, but I do think he's a perfect complement to Javonte, and I could see him finally eating in a little bit and having like a consistent role where Javante's just not always out there the whole time. But I do think he's just one of those picks in best ball that he's probably just a boring ass decent pick. Like a Josh Jacobs in the 4th round, like a David Montgomery. Like, come on, like what is the difference? Josh Jacobs, Javonte Williams, David Montgomery. What is the difference of those guys? I don't see much. I think they're all very similar. I think Josh Jacobs is going to have like a offensive line that's not as good. I think David Montgomery doesn't have as good of an offensive line. The Cowboys definitely have like the best offense, I think, overall of those teams. Damn, and Tootin doesn't get back to me. Come on, Jim. Come on, this is a friends and family draft. You're supposed to let me get my guy. I don't get Luther Burden. I don't get... It's just one of those drafts. Damn it. All right, Willie goes JMO here. Top of the ADP is DJ Moore. But I'm going to take my guy Swift. Remember, Bears, Lions. Keep this thing rolling here. Give me some Swift. Still don't know what's going on with Monungai. That could turn into something interesting here. So to start, we got JSN, Brock Bowers, Emeka Ibuka, Javonte Williams, and DeAndre Swift here. I should have taken Judkins for you instead because I love both him and No. You take your guy. Don't. I'm just messing around. You take your guy. Tootin was the right pick. Don't second guess it. He was the right pick. I was just trying to give you shit. Update. I got Devontae, took Hurts at 76. Still hoping for Stafford at 93 to stack with Adams and Puka. LOL. Yeah, there you go. At least now, if you don't get Stafford, you don't feel like you're just totally stuck at QB. At least you have one really good QB. And I'll be honest, Hurts, the few videos I've seen of him early, man, he looks good. He looks like he looks good, man. Primed is what I'll say. Him and Devontae, I think, are about to crush. Devontae Smith, I mean, 3rd round Devontae Smith is fun. I got a decent amount of Devontae, especially in like the higher stakes stuff. I've taken him a couple times. I'm feeling good about that. Number 1 receiver. I mean, clear, just number 1 guy. You know, they got Dallas Goedert, but it's Dallas Goedert. It seems like Eli Stowers is going to be it's going to be like, you know, someone that they take their time with. Maybe he's not ready right away. Mekhi Lemon, I think it'll be interesting how they use him. Do they play him a lot in 2 wide receiver sets? Do they lean more on the vet in Dontavian Wicks? I think it's so set up for Devontae, especially early in the season with so many. Think about it. They got young guys. They got new pieces to the team, right? Guys that Jalen Hurts have just started working with this year. Devontae's been there. He's done it. Big games, him and Hurts. Like, I don't know. All right, so Brian Thomas Jr. is here. Marvin Harrison Jr. I'm not into. We've got... The kick is saying running back here. I kind of tend to agree. I think I'm going to go Warren. I'm higher on Warren than the field. I was listening to Zane Denani, who he said that he had a source that pretty much kind of confirmed to him what I think the backfield's going to look like in Pittsburgh. And it's like, you know, early in the season, and this could change obviously, but like this is how they are thinking of it. Like Rico Dowdle is like, maybe that like first down, maybe second down, like runner, but then you got Jaylen Warren for like the change of pace in the pass catcher. And I'll keep saying it, but like on DraftKings with Aaron Rodgers, who I know doesn't want to get hit and wants to get the ball out quick, give me the guy who's going to be more of the pass catcher and the up-tempo guy. I think that's Warren, and I think Warren's just more talented at the end of the day. So I'm going to lean on that. So I am definitely team Jaylen Warren on DraftKings here. Don't take any Price or Tootin for upside, or any take on Price or Tootin for upside. I'm confused. Do you not take them, or you want my take on Price or Tootin for upside? It sounds like you don't take them. I'll just say one thing. I definitely take a lot of Tootin, or I have taken a lot of Tootin. I don't take any Jadarian Price. So, man, Caleb Williams is here at 77. I do have DeAndre Swift. Damn it. I'm not going to do it, though. I won't do it. I will leave him for the next guy here. Let's do this. I don't take a lot of Chris Godwin. Let's do it. Let's get the full Bucks experience going. Screw it. Buy these Bucks. Had to run to the store. Missed my first 4 picks. Just went from the queue. I mean, not terrible. I mean, Justin Jefferson, Kenny Walker, Jeremiah Love, T. Higgins. I think you did okay. T. Higgins in the 4th round. I like that. I've seen Sutton fall to ADP 80 and not picked at 96. I'm very low on Sutton. But I have seen him fall like that too. Doesn't happen all the time, but he's definitely a guy. The Waddle stuff. People are starting to realize they're pushing Waddle up. It's causing Sutton to fall. I think people are also into the Pat Bryant stuff late. Troy Franklin. And they're just selling themselves probably on the fact that Sean Payton is evil for fantasy football, which is the truth. It's just tough. He's brutal, man. No tight end. I want with Fannin at 100 instead of Corum and the obnoxious Ram stack. Let's see. Take Price and Tootin over Montgomery and Jacobs, Tampa back. Yeah, there you go. I mean, I'm not a Price guy, but I'll take Tootin. I will take Tootin over those guys. Because you know why I like Tootin is he's in one of the best offenses for running backs. Like Liam Cohen running backs, those are running backs we need to target for fantasy football. If Tootin gets that design stuff in the passing game that ETN got, he is going to crush fantasy football. He's going to smash. Now, if Chris Rodriguez takes some away with like some of the goal line stuff, that would stink for Tootin. But I feel like Tootin at the goal line was pretty good. And I've heard Liam Cohen and the coaches like kind of talk about how he was really good in those situations, in the limited opportunity that he got. They still gave him some of those high value touches inside the 5. And he produced, and they say he's got like a nose for the end zone. He's just one of those guys. That makes me feel pretty good about Tootin. And I can see understanding being like, yeah, just take Tootin, screw the Josh Jacobs types. I do think Josh Jacobs is probably kind of washed at this point, but maybe I'm wrong. Oh man, Kenny Gainwell goes at 91. Damn, can't get Kenny ever. You know what? I want Blake Corum. I'm building out this game stack here. Give me Blake Corum. I knew Brooks wasn't going to make it back to me. I knew Marvin wasn't going to allow it. That's okay. Still some good players on the board here. Who do I need? Chuba went. Yep, Chuba and Dowdle. Pat Mahomes goes. Jackson Dart. Man, I could just take Brock Purdy right now. It's either Brock Purdy or Downs. Maybe well, that just made Willie just made my pick really easy because I was going between Downs and Brock Purdy. So okay, Brock Purdy. Come on down, buddy. So through 9, we've got a 1-4-3-1 start with JSN, Brock Bowers, Emeka Ibuka, Javonte Williams, DeAndre Swift, Jalen Warren, Chris Godwin, Blake Corum, and Brock Purdy here. I like it. Solid start. Yes, I did. And it's going to be interesting. By the way, if you are interested, we will be doing a show tomorrow, me and Mike, in the morning, 8 a.m. Eastern time. Guys, lock is at 10 for MMA. But if you're into the MMA stuff, you're getting up early anyways. Lock's at 10 a.m. If you're playing, I assume you'll be up. 8 a.m. We're going to go live and break that card down. So that'll be on this YouTube channel tomorrow morning. So check us out there. And also hit the like button on the video here. If you're hanging out, chilling, draft some teams with us, talking some ball, feel free to ask any questions, anything you're seeing with news, Debo stuff, where I have them ranked, whatever. Shoot it in the chat. We'll try and we'll talk about it. Also funny that you left Caleb and the next guy with no Bears snatches him. Honestly, at that point, he's a pretty good pick. I did have Swift too. I could have taken Caleb. I think it was viable. Jared Goff is here right now. I got to assume this guy just takes Jared Goff with Amon-Ra. Maybe he's on auto. No, he pushes Goff. Oh, wow. That's interesting. If I didn't have this like full-on Tampa stack and don't want to get screwed, I would totally take Goff here and push Baker, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take Baker. Oh, that's a good pick right there. And Willie had J-Mo. You're welcome, Willie. If you're still out there hanging out, Willie, you're welcome. Yeah, if I didn't have that whole stack built out. From Cohen, love Tootin's ability to find the end zone. Yeah, that's what I said, right? Yeah, nose for the end zone. It's literally what I said. Just draft those running backs. Kyle says, in redraft, do you get Gainwell if you have Bucky or maybe Sean Tucker? Good question. I would probably say if in redraft, if Bucky goes down, Sean Tucker's role like immediately goes from like very little to like a close to what Bucky was having. Maybe it's a 60-40 with Gainwell being the 60, but I'd probably go Sean Tucker in redraft because he's not going to be expensive. It's just an easy handcuff. Unless unless Kenny just falls in redraft. But I doubt it. So yeah, I'd probably say Sean Tucker. But I think on DK and best ball, I want some Kenny Gainwell. Another Friday without Top Click Police, a good Friday. FK Coolers, my guy, what's going on here? Oh my God, we almost timed out here. Sure, we're going to go Casey Concepcion. That was kind of a panic pick. I will not lie. That was a panic pick. I did not realize I was even on the clock. And son of a gun, I was wondering why I couldn't find who I wanted. I wanted Jalen Coker. I just assumed he was going to be there. But no. Guess who sniped me on Jalen Coker? Jim Halpert, of all people. My friend Jim Halpert. Of course we love Sack and Shady. Just because we love Sack and Shady doesn't mean we can't give them some shit and talk about how they're the police of the top guy and they stare down at you when you don't click the top guy. I think that's very reasonable. Very reasonable. Similar handcuff question, but this one involving the New York Jets. If I'm handcuffing in season long, oh, that's a good question here. It seems like the Braylon Allen stuff is starting to go away. Man, I would probably go. God, it's the New York Jets. They're so gross anyways. I would probably go with Isaiah Davis. It seems like he's starting to catch some steam. But that's an easier question, Kyle, because both those guys go at the end. So, in redraft, I doubt a ton of people are lining up to draft Davis. I mean, maybe you just go Braylon Allen because Davis probably ends up as a guy you can pick up. He just kind of sits there unless he gets a bunch of hype before your draft or something like that. Oh, Keaton Missile just went. I thought I could do it. I thought I could do it. I thought I could push it. But I couldn't do it. Sad. All right. Let's do Debo here. We do have the quarterback, and I don't have one yet. Whoa, Ricky Pearsall just went in this draft. 139. Did anything new come out on Ricky? Let's see. Well, that's fun. Yeah, I feel like all the stuff is just leaning towards Ricky Pearsall not playing football. Oh, Jalen McMillions. Can't push anyone in these drafts. Too many snipers. Too many snipers in these drafts. Who took Sam Darnold, by the way? Where did Sam Darnold go? Wow, Sam Darnold went all the way over here to pick 127? Damn. Let's see. Who we going with, Willie? making me wait. Tajay Spears. Let's see. Let's go with. Let's take Stribling here. So now we got a 2-4-6-1 JSN, Brock Bowers, Emeka Ibuka, Javonte Williams, DeAndre Swift, Jalen Warren, Chris Godwin, Blake Corum, Brock Purdy, Baker Mayfield, Casey Concepcion, Deebo Samuel, and Dejan Stribling here through 13 rounds. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I did not think Stribling would make it back to me. He might have made it back to me, though. How do you think Kittle will do this year? I think Kittle is going to start out slow. I think even when he comes back, I think it's going to be something that takes a little bit of time. You know, I think they're going to be very careful with him. And he's going to want to do more. But I think early, he's not going to give you the weeks that you want, even if he plays. I think he's someone, though, if you're drafting, you're hoping for that, like, second half of the season where he can do some damage. So, yeah, no, if you're drafting Kittle, I think you want to have one or two decent tight ends with him, because just coming off that injury, even if he is back for week 1, it's like asking a lot to, like, you know, do a ton from a fantasy upside, I feel like, with him. And they did get Mike Evans. And until, like, where Kittle's going to have, like, the big explosive games, I think, is when Mike Evans goes down for that, like, 4 to 6 game stretch, which he just always does. So that's kind of the upside, I think, is that, like, back half of the year. But that's why he's fallen into, like, the 118, 120 range. Also, does San Francisco just have the worst luck of any team? Their injury luck is insane. Or it's the substation. I don't know. One or the other. Rondé Gadsden at 160. 161, where are we? Yeah, 161. This might be another 2-quarterback team, honestly. I don't know. Maybe I'll take a shot on another one. Let's see who I get here. Dylan Sampson goes. I'll take Trey Tucker. Got a little Raiders thing going. Might as well keep that going there. Absolutely, man. That's what we're doing here. We're just hanging out, answering some fantasy football questions, DFS, season long, best ball, whatever you guys want to talk about, you know. And we got it all. RunPureSports.com. We just posted our hub for season long, and I know people start ramping up the season long drafts. You know, in August is mainly when they happen. So if that's you, if you got a ton of season long drafts or something like that, we got a full hub. Put your team in there. It has like full team breakdowns too for every single team. All like the coaching stuff. You know, guys that have departed and new guys that have entered on the team. So if you're just getting into football and you need like the quick bullets, the breakdowns, you can go in and check that stuff out. And then you can do your own research too on the hub as well. So it's got a little bit of everything. If you want to check it out, runpuresports.com. Early NFL 25, you get 25% off for any non-Saber package over on the site. All right, and we're back up on the clock here. Well, since I'm building out my stack, some say this is a reach, but I don't care. We're going to take T-Ferg. And now we've got A nice little Rams Tampa Week 17 stack going on here. I love it. Not getting a ton of like value on some of these picks, but I think building out a pretty solid team makes sense. Correlation looks pretty good to me here. It's just this Javonte pick, man. Even when I get Javonte as a faller, I just don't love it. I don't love it. I don't know though. Maybe I'm probably wrong. Marvin says, I have 40% Pearsall and BBM. Only solution is to keep drafting teams to lower the exposure. That's right. That's the only thing you can do. If you have 40% of Pearsall, you just got to lower that percentage by drafting more. You're on the right path, my friend. I think I'm 94 in on Best Ball Mania. This is draft, I think 94 as well on DraftKings in the $25. So we're getting there. I had to slow roll myself a little bit, so I didn't end up like last year where I was, 3 weeks into or 2 weeks into August, and I was like almost done. I was like, okay. Willie, it was Spears or Stribling there for me. Weak as usual at running back, though, so I went Spears. Yeah, I appreciate you going Spears. Don't forget, I gave you that falling Jared Goff, Willie. Who starts more games, Tua or Penix? Good question. Are we under the assumption that both guys are like ready for the start of the season? Like no restrictions. They're like Penix is good to go, because it feels like they're being very careful with him too. But if that's the case, I think Tua starts the season, Penix finishes the season, and I will slightly lean Tua, but I think injury, he could play a huge part in this answer. And also, too, just to be clear, I think it's a legit, like, one guy starts like 9 games and one guy starts like 8 games. So I don't think there's going to be, I don't think one of these guys starts like 15 games or something like that. Cade Otton does fall back to us here. We got Jaden Blue, Dontavian Wicks, Zachariah Branch. All pretty solid picks here. We do have 4. Let me take Blue here. I don't have much Blue, so I do want to take just some, just in case. Even though I had Javonte. I don't know if I love that. That's all right, though. I don't know. The thing, though, with that is, I don't know if Jaden Blue is like the 100% handcuff. I think he's the 100% guy to have like a role, but I don't know if he's like a true handcuff in fantasy football. That could be like the Mafa thing, or like how Malik Davis just came in, like. That could be one of those where Jaden Blue's role like doesn't really change that much if the number 1 goes down. Kenny Gainwell could be that way too. I don't think he will be, but he could be with Sean Tucker. I think that was, I don't know if I liked doing that though. Still, I don't normally handcuff those situations in best ball. Not that you can't, but it's probably a bad pick. I just saw falling Blue and I was like, I need one more running back. A guy I'm not into is Jeremy Bernard. I think the kick's got to chill on Jeremy Bernard. Hear that, Sack? You guys got to chill. should have taken Kate Otten last. That I made that mistake. So sometimes you just gotta own up. You gotta tell yourself you made a mistake and you gotta live with it. I think that was a mistake. I should have drafted Kate Otten there. I should have listened. Sometimes the kick does know better. But it's okay. We move on. I'm at 130 in BBM, but only 35 or so in DK. Got to up these DK drafts. Just moves slower than you. I know, yeah. I know. UD, it's a little quicker. But what they did with their, like, I mean, it looks like crap now when I pull it up on my phone. I used to talk to so many people like, oh yeah, I can't do it with the interface. Like UD's just so much better than DK. And I'm like, how about now? Now it looks like shit. DK's looks better. That's just the truth. Kyle says, I traded my first, second, third last year, but I have Josh Allen, Breece Hall, AJ Brown, Rashid Rice, Kenneth Walker, Bucky Irving, and George Kittle as my keepers. I mean, dude, that sounds like a pretty good team in redraft. I would say. Some would say. None of those guys are really moving the needle for me. Maybe... No, I was going to say like maybe a Tony Pollard, but like I think having a George Kittle is probably better since you already have Breece, Bucky, Kenny Walker as running backs. I wouldn't. Yeah, they effed up the mobile UI for sure for no real reason. Yeah, I don't get it. Too bad we can't swap, Willie. Too bad we can't swap. Unbelievable. I want to see too. That's respect right there, Red. Red CYC says, I'm DraftKings loyal, no UD for me. I have like a majority of my volume on DraftKings. I'm just also a sucker for $2 million in first place prizes. But we are a DraftKings show here, so not many are, you know? Some shows, they just pop in for a week and then they pop out. DraftKings is gone. Which, I mean, you got to do what you got to do. Got to do what pays the bills. But on this show, we do DraftKings. All right, we are up here. I mean, you keep giving me Ted Hurst. I will keep clicking Ted Hurst. Those be the rules. I don't make them. I just follow them. What do I want to do? So the kick's obviously saying, dude, you need tight ends. You need them bad. I don't think I'm going to do the Kirk Cousins thing. What's the real possibility that Kirk Cousins plays like more than half a season? Like, what's the real possibility if the Raiders are rolling? Like, I got to look at their schedule real quick. It can't be. It's got to be harder than I think. It can't be Kirk Cousins. Last draft spot, have Hurts, Stafford, so I can take a third QB in Cousins, Watson, Penix, or McCarthy. I don't think you need a third QB. And I wouldn't force it. Like right here, I do technically have Vegas, so I could take Cousins. I don't feel like I need to, though. But I could. And if you're in that spot where you don't have a stack, I wouldn't just just throw one of these guys on your team just to throw one on. I'd kind of leave it with Hurts and Stafford. But if you have a stacking partner, then just go with whoever your stacking partner is. If you're just asking me overall, I'm not drafting Watson. I'm scared of JJ McCarthy, so I'm probably not doing that. So it'd be Penix or Cousins. Let's see here. Man, it's ugly on this part of the board here. You know what? This fits for my team, and I don't need this dude to do squat. But who knows? He could be a hero if George is banged up or gets banged up again or isn't healthy as we think to start week 1. So give me Jake Tonjes. And I don't draft him a lot, but I feel like on my team, he kind of fits. I don't have Kittle on this team, which I prefer in those teams. And I do have Brock Bowers. So in theory, I shouldn't need a ton of big weeks from someone like Jake Tonjes, but he could fall in to a week here and there. And I'll take shots on those guys every now and then. I don't draft them a lot, but I do think he kind of fit my team. Didn't want to risk a week 6-0 because Sanders might not be playing. My other 2 QBs were Burrow and Murray in weeks. Yeah. See, this is my problem with guys changing names is I get a question from DC in our best ball chat saying, important question, are you referring to Travis Etienne as Etienne or Achan? So DC, to answer your question, if you were listening, he changed his friggin' name, and I've been calling him Etienne this whole time. Then everyone I do shows with, like, it's a chain or whatever. So it's throwing me off. I'm sorry, I got to go back to it. He's just got to be Etienne, okay? I was referring to a chain as Etienne. I got to just go back to it. It's Travis Etienne. I'm not calling him by the name he wants us to call him by anymore. I just can't do it. So yeah, DC, I'm sorry for the confusion. Joseph says, I'm butchering the 12 spot. Nothing fell right after round 2. Well, Joseph, we can check your team out. What do we think here? Should we roll one more? I do have time for one more draft. Should we roll one more? Let's look and see. Ooh, flash sale, by the way, on DraftKings. If anyone hasn't, I just saw a flash sale posted on DraftKings here. So enter into the 20 million millionaire tournament to earn one $5 NFL Week 1 fantasy football millionaire ticket here. This goes from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. All right, guys. So if you guys opt in on DraftKings, go to the promos page. You have from 3 to 4, it looks like, if you would like a $5 DK ticket. So I think that means we gotta do one more because I gotta get my ticket. Okay. So we got last pick on the board. I probably need I like Katron here for running back. My wide receivers. You know what, though? I need another wide receiver here. Just give me a Brennan Thompson. Another guy I'm just drafting more of. Shout out to my guy, Felix Castro. He knows what's up. All right, so yeah. Let's do this here. I'm just going to pull up. So if anyone, I know this draft's kind of finishing up here real quick. If anyone wants to get in another draft with me, I'm going to do one more $25 just because they just posted that flash sale. So we got to get in. It's from 3 to 4. I'm just going to add the Discord as well so they see the flash promotion on DraftKings. Shout out to DraftKings, by the way, keeping us on our toes, but they at least do it right. I mean, UD's got to step up their ticket game. More tickets. I'm not saying a $5 ticket is massive, but at least it's something. And they had the $10 promo the time before. DK flash sale. All right. I just posted that in here. Let's do this. So I do want to go back and look at this team real quick. What's the story on Brennan Thompson? I'll talk about him. Give me 1 second, and then I'll talk about him and why I like Brennan Thompson here. All right. So if you guys want to get in one more, I'm going to pull it up on my phone now, and then I'm going to enter it. I'll do the countdown right after I go through my team. So if anyone wants to jump in, I'll give them a second to pull their phones up here. We've got a 2-5-10-3 build on DraftKings. JSN, Brock Bowers, Emeka Ibuka, Javonte Williams, DeAndre Swift, Jalen Warren, Chris Godwin, Blake Corum, Brock Purdy, Baker Mayfield, Casey Concepcion, Deebo Samuel, Dejon Stribling, Trey Tucker, Terrence Ferguson, Jaden Blue, Zachariah Branch, Ted Hurst, Jake Tonjes, and Brennan Thompson here. So a lot of young receivers. It's kind of a reason why I kind of opted for that 10th receiver on this team. I have my two studs, right? I got JSN, Emeka Ibuka. But then after that, you got Chris Godwin, who could be really good, but he could just be, a little washed, or he could get banged up, maybe just injuries and stuff like that. So I felt like, my running back room, I feel like is solid enough. You got Javonte, you got DeAndre Swift, you got Jalen Warren, you got Blake Corum, who I'm really high on. So I felt like my running back room was solid. I get Jaden Blue late, maybe gives me a few upside weeks. So I was like, all right, let me get, my stacks. I got my stacks, some correlation in here. And then I got a bunch of young guys to kind of fill it out. The tight end room, I love this tight end room with how I did it, because I got Brock Bowers, my stud, and then I get 2 late tight ends, one that I'm really high on in Terrence Ferguson, and then Jake Tonjes, who I think fits my San Francisco build with no George Kittle in it. If George Kittle isn't right or anything like that, he kind of slots in, and we've seen what he can do when he slots in to take over that role there. So yeah, I like my team a lot. And I think the one or two, I don't want to say mistakes, but I think the one mistake I probably made overall was the Jaden Blue pick, and not just taking Cade Otton to lean even heavier into that stack. But I think it worked out okay. I wish I didn't do that, honestly. I wish I just went, like, I could have went Otton here and then went Black with my next pick or something like that instead of Branch. And it is what it is. So, all right, that's my team. If anyone else wants me to talk about their team or look through their team, let me know. And I will do that. But I do want to jump in this draft. So if anyone wants to draft with me, $25 over on DraftKings. Like I said, they're doing that flash sale. If you're going to get in, you might as well opt in, get your $5 ticket for week 1 of the DFS season. Did they post week 1 contests? Hold on. Or is it just like they're telling us that that's the... Okay, no, they didn't post contests, but they always do a $5. Or no, they did. What am I saying? They posted contests. Did they just post contests? Or has it been here the whole time I've been talking? Am I an idiot right now? Chat, you can say yes if I'm an idiot. You can let me know. Or did that just happen? I see 3 people are already in the $100 milli. I see 84 people in the $5. This has got to be pretty fresh. I feel like pretty fresh here. Maybe I'll pull it up after we get in here. All right. If anyone wants to enter this next $25 though, I'm going to start the countdown here in a sec. So you might want to get in at 3. But here we go for the best ball entry. 3, 2, 1, and we're in. Bang. That one filled really quick. So hopefully some of you guys got in here. And I will pivot over to that draft. I'm at pick 11. I assume with that promo that was their first, because they said week 1 DFS contest. So I assume those contests had to be just fresh. But then I had user in here earlier asking all those week 1 questions. So I was like, maybe it was there the whole time and I just didn't even notice. All right, so here we are in the 11 spot. Again, let me know if you're in this draft with me. Missed a few questions here. I do want to go over Brennan Thompson too, because someone did ask. Yeah, I forgot. I could have went the Stowers route with week 17. That's all right. I thought about it too. Let's see. Didn't take QB, took Stowers with Hurts at 237 instead of Kate on to give me the 4 tight ends. Yeah. I drafted a bunch of 4 tight end teams. No, they dropped. They're in the lobby. I'm looking at them. Joseph. They got a $5 milli. They got $100 milli, and they've got a 4444 milli. Yeah, I'm looking at them now. 12 game slate, 1 p.m. They are live, my friend. Let's see. So Tanja's a stud here. Before I get back to week 1 here, what's the story on Brennan Thompson? So Brennan Thompson was I think 4th or 5th round draft pick for the LA Chargers. Mike McDaniel was very specific about some of these weapons that they brought in. And Brennan Thompson was one of them, because it seemed like from all the videos and everything they talked about, Mike McDaniels was very much the one pushing the Brennan Thompson pick. He was talking about how it's like, I'll take my shirt off or whatever if we take Brennan. So he was hyped. Like, this was a guy that he went through his process and he was like, we need this guy. I want this guy. And they drafted him. And right then and there, I'm like, okay, we got to take note, because one, I think it kind of fits someone that they need from a team standpoint. This little guy who's like a speed guy, though. He's very, very fast. And, someone that Mike McDaniel is going to really like using out there. If you think about it, he's done wonders with some of those type of guys. You know what I mean? Obviously, like Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. He likes a specific type of receiver. Brennan Thompson just fits that mold of receiver that he is into, that he drafts a lot, or he likes to use, and he knows how to use. And I'm going to get sniped on Amon-Ra right here. Son of a bitch. Damn it. I wanted Amon-Ra so bad there. That would have been awesome at 11. This is what I mean. Like, this is so boring just clicking CeeDee Lamb. It's the right click. It's just, man, every time. CeeDee Lamb. But it's the right click. You guys make me take CeeDee Lamb, and I will take it. What gave us this? So we had JT at 5. Oh, Barkley at 9. Okay, Clay. I was wondering why he fell to 10. That makes sense though. Oh man. JSU, you're not being original, man. I swear I've seen this before. You have. CeeDee Lamb, Kenneth Walker. It is what it is. But either way, Brendan Thompson is been flashing in camp already. We started to see some stuff with him and Herbert, and I think he's just going to have some big plays. He's going to be one of those guys. He might not be a guy that's out there for 60% of the routes or something like that, but I think he's a guy who, when he's out there, he's going to maximize those targets, and they could be big plays. So I think he's a great best ball target. And you never know what happens during the season. If a guy goes down, right now the room at wide receiver, I feel like it's pretty, like it's Ladd, it's QJ, it's Trey Harris. So they got their top 3, and then Brendan Thompson's that 4th guy that I think they're going to want to work in. You know who I view him like? It's not that I'm not saying they're the exact same, but I view him the way I think the Bears view Xavier Thomas. Xavier is a guy that I think will have a package. He's going to be used like a gadget guy. They're going to do a bunch of different things with him. I don't think he's going to be technically wide receiver 3. I think that will technically be Khalif Raymond to start. But I think him and Raymond almost like split those duties a lot. And I think Brendan Thompson can do that, where he can eventually get to a point where he's playing enough to be, again, not a seasonal target. He's not like a season-long guy because you're not going to know when to play him. But from a best ball standpoint, I think he's going to be usable from a best ball standpoint there. So, yeah, that's just my Brendan Thompson take. He's someone that I'm drafting a ton. I know Felix Castro, former Millie Maker winner, who goes on with me normally on Thursday nights. He is all over the Brendan Thompson thing. He's been drafting him a ton. Pretty much like every time he needs a receiver in the late round, he's drafting a ton of Brendan Thompson. So, I like him. And I like targeting good teams, and the Chargers are definitely a good team, good offense. I've been doing some double round 2 guys at the 11-12 lately, like going Bowers, Walker, and just hoping that's a top pairing. I've done that too a little bit, Marvin, where I've done like the Walker Hampton. I've done Chase Brown and Derrick Henry. I've done a few of these. Just where you get some like different combos, some correlating combos. I mean, Walker Bowers have to be like 2 of my favorite second round picks. So I don't hate that start. Or like Walker London. Totally just flip the board. Josh Allen goes. Kyron goes here. Okay, so we got Kenny Walker, CeeDee Lamb. I mean, he's on the cover. We got to take one Colston Loveland team, right? We got to do it. You're not actually into the Bears if you don't accept taking a Luther Burden or Colston Loveland Luther Burden 3-4 start. You're not a real Bears guy. You're a fake, is what I'll say. Phony. Couldn't be me. I do that start. Look at that. CeeDee Lamb, Kenny Walker, Colston Loveland, Luther Burden. God, that looks good. You want to talk about go get your guy season? That's this team right here. My guys. Joseph, is CD pick and start plausible? I've seen you start Genty Bowers. If Cowboys boat race everyone, it feels okay and very unique. I will say, Joseph, I have seen the start a couple times. So I think if your idea is just around, hey, listen, I want to get a stack. Cowboys might be one of the best stacks on the board, which I kind of agree. It's probably one of the better offenses to attack. So, yeah, I think a CeeDee Lamb, George pick and start is viable. And the more I think about it, how good would you go like CD Neighbors and you somehow get Pickens. Like Neighbors goes at the 2-3 turn. But if you could get like Neighbors to fall to you to like, I don't know where, pick 5, probably doesn't happen a lot. But yeah, no, Joseph, to answer your question, I think it's plausible to do. I wouldn't do it like a ton because I still do feel like a lot of the upside on these guys, it would kind of help if like one guy goes down. Because I do feel like CD is still like the true alpha. But yeah, I don't hate it. And again, it's not a bad offense. Like it's great offense to target. So I'm okay with doing that type of stuff for the best offenses. Let's see. So we were almost up on the board. Any weird starts going on here? I see Trey McBride in the second round. I mean, that's not weird. It's just second, third round. What did the guy going Barkley? So the guy who went Barkley in the 9 hole went Barkley, Derrick Henry, Josh Allen, Breece Hall. Not a weird start. Just must like Barkley a lot. Or maybe he's just flipping it a little bit, like we were talking about with the 2 second-round picks. I mean, Barkley, Henry's got to be a unique start. And bam. Oh, man, I wanted Travion. Travion would have been awesome there. So, still a lot of good picks on the board. You know what? Sometimes you just got to go take the best player. And Lamar at 59, he's just the best player on the board. Just is. How do you say no to that? I will not. Jaden Daniels goes. Who's this guy going to go? Does he go with the correlation or top guy? Probably correlation, I would assume. Come on. Oh, no, Drake May. Well, I don't have a lot of Christian Watson. Let's do it. I'm not as into 5th round Christian Watson, but 6th round Christian Watson, I am more into here. And he's just started to fall into the 6th round, so people starting getting a little low on Christian Watson here. I'm okay with snagging some. Man, week 1, let's pull up. I just want to see what they got here for week 1 pricing. Who's the obvious who's the obvious chalk here in week 1? Let's see. Well, Jordan Tyson's 5,100 against the Lions. Guys are going to steam that up. You got QJ against the Cardinals at 4,700. My guy Luther Burden at 5,500. Interesting, the price in Fannon's 4,200. Oh, they made these tight ends really cheap. Some of these tight ends. Man, Trevor Lawrence is 5,800. Yep. Classic week 1. It's going to be fun. Let's see. Who do we got? The problem with my build here and this side of the board is, man, you get shit running backs back to you. You get no value on the running backs you take in the 7th and 8th round. If you got this end of the board. And damn, Caleb Williams goes. Just can't even get like a Caleb Williams fall. That's all right though. We got Lamar. Guy I'm not drafting, Marvin Harrison. The fall on Marvin Harrison has been great. Guy looks horrible in camp. Can't catch a ball. Everyone's starting to realize it. Everyone's starting to freak out. He's legit the same guy. If you're in on Marvin Harrison, I think you got to just stick. 6th round Marvin Harrison. Couldn't be me, but there are people that loved Marvin Harrison. Oh, Stevenson just went. Stevenson's just the guy I can tell the coach will never let go away. They just like Vrabel's never gonna let him just go away. He has to get hurt. I think we're gonna have to get lucky if we're Travion guys. Unfortunately, because he's just gonna stick. Rabona King, thoughts on Caleb Douglas? I like Caleb Douglas. I've been drafting some Caleb Douglas here. He is the main receiver I've been drafting. I think if you're drafting the Miami guys, it would be Caleb Douglas or be, and this guy's going to auto. Oh, Alec Pierce. Okay. So we get, I said that, and then we get a nice little fall on Tony Pollard, 10 spots after ADP. That's fun. If I'm drafting Miami, I think he's the clear guy I want. If I wanted to draft like someone else, like I don't think Kevin Coleman is going to play a lot early or in the middle. I think he's only going to play like late into the season, but I think he could be someone interesting for like the later weeks. But I think Caleb's got a chance to play all year, which makes me interested. Let's see here. Mekhi Lemons at the top. We have Lamar Jackson. I have Kenneth Walker. I got screwed on. I'm going to go Justin Herbert, actually. So I'm going to get my quarterbacks here. I got a little correlation. He's just the quarterback I want to draft some of. Oh, shoot. Oh, I think I just blacked out for a second. Did I just black out and not take Dak Prescott? I did. Wow. I was literally looking at Dak Prescott and clicked Justin Herbert. Whew. That just tells you I've been on here for too long. Pushing 2.5 hours. Unbelievable. Well, is what it is. Unbelievable. Oh, yeah. 3 drafts. What are you going to do? Then some positive news on Tolbert down in Miami. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that some of these other guys will probably it's like it can't just be a rookie. Like one of these vets is going to be okay. Tolbert, Tutu Atwell, Malik Washington. I just don't know. Like, are we gonna get a big year from Jalen Tolbert? I don't know, man. Could he have a game or two though? It's possible, especially early. Is there a combo you have that you think no one out there does? That no one out there does. I mean, I don't know. I've done a lot of drafts. Are you talking about like a starting combo for Bona King? Like a starting 2, or you just mean like a full game stack or something? What are you referring to? I'm assuming like a starting combo here. Who will be the new third host on the Sunday morning with you and T this year? I don't know. We haven't had much luck with the third host, Joseph. So I have no idea. It could just be me and him, which God bless you guys because you'll have to listen to me talk a little bit more. But or it could be a third host. I don't know. I got to ask Big T. He runs that side of the board. That's not JSU's. I just schedule the shows. I have nothing to do with who and when and what. I just schedule. I put it on the board. I make sure the times are right. I make sure it's ready for the graphics guy. Make sure he's got everything he needs. Bang. That's my job. Okay, so you said start. I have a Amon-Ra and I have an Amon-Ra and CD Lamb start, which I think is unique. I don't think nobody has it, but I think it's pretty unique. I think I got that at the either the 11 or the 12 spot, one draft. So hold on, I'm up right now here. I know the kick says Monungai. I'm gonna go Kenny Gainwell though. Nice little fall on Gainwell. So yeah, I have that start. I've got I think I've got a start with JT and CD. Again, I don't know if no one has them, but I think that's a lower owned combo start here. Still saying Monungai. Fannon's here. I already have a stud tight end. I'm gonna take the down on Pittman here. So I got that little correlation right there with Pittman. Yeah, screw it. I like Michael Pittman. I don't take him a lot, but you know, I had the week 17 stuff because I had Tony Pollard, and I'm like, screw it. I don't take Pittman a lot. He's fallen 18, 19 picks past ADP. Let's take a little shot on a Michael Pittman there. Yeah. So I don't know. I can't remember when it was exactly, but I think there was like some, I don't even know if this had anything to do with it, or maybe just I was in a draft with people that were like really low on JT or whatever, but there was like, I remember something put out there like maybe JT gets spelled a little bit more, maybe he doesn't handle like the full workload, which I just don't see happening. I don't see how they can do that. The team's not, I think, that good as is. So I think, you know, Daniel Jones coming off this big injury, like how do they not just lean on JT? I think they're going to have no choice. But But yeah, no, I'm pretty sure I have that start. Yeah. Again, though, I don't know if nobody has that start. I think there is probably some people out there with that start, but I'm sure it's very low owned. Man, if I have some time later, Rabona King, and I can go back, I'll try and find it. I got a lot of drafts on DK. I got a lot of drafts on DK, but I'll try and find it. If I can find it, I'll like tweet it out. Or I'll show it on Sunday if I can find it. I'll show it on Sunday on the Sunday stream. I missed this. JT said, just tuning in. Haven't drafted today. How's the room treating Debo and Shribs? Let's see. So Debo, I've seen go at 142 today. I've seen him go at 139. And I've seen him go as high as 122 today in some of my drafts, not in the stream drafts, but in some of my other drafts. And then Shribs, he's kind of fallen back into like the 150s to 160 range in some of the drafts so far. Okay. I can't black out this time, guys. I got to make sure I make my picks. Don't let me black out. So a lot of good tight ends here that I can go with. I have Colson Loveland, so I don't not like pressing that I need tight ends. This guy doesn't have a tight end though. I think I'm just going to take Andrews to get my stack with Lamar. Man, there's still a lot of good picks on the board. Let's see where Debo goes in this one, too. I'll pull it up after. Hunter Henry goes. Let's just do the missile. Let's get the missile. Get him while he's hot. I got Herbert. Everyone just saw that the missile can actually catch a football. They might actually throw him the ball. And I got Kenneth Walker, so I got a little game stack going there. Screw it. I like it. All right, so where are we at here? Through 12, we've got CeeDee Lamb, Kenneth Walker, Colson Loveland, Luther Burden, Lamar Jackson, Christian Watson, Tony Pollard, Justin Herbert, Kenny Gainwell, Michael Pittman Jr., Mark Andrews, and Keaton Missile through 12. I like it. Debo is still here on the board. Man, I forgot that. I got to ask Zach. Whoa, Cyrus Allen just went in the 12th round. Okay. The hype's insane. And I'm okay with, 18th round Cyrus Allen, but the hype has left the station. It's out of control. Does this guy have Pat? Nope, doesn't have Pat. He just said, fuck it, I want Cyrus Allen. Give me the 12th round Cyrus Allen there. Damn, I need some water. God, I'm starting to get hungry. Let's see. What does this guy do here? He went Diggs, Cyrus Allen. Just looking at his draft, it looks fine. He's got a Buka with Baker. He's got Jordan Love, Jaden Reed. Yeah. So this was draft 95, I think, on DraftKings for the $25. So I still got enough bullets. Seems like a good time to be drafting though right now. Guys are firing. They're all trying to get their $5 ticket. Oh, Debo goes. So there's your Debo pick right there. 151. That's the latest I've seen him go. Stribling went before at 145. That's interesting. Damn, I would have taken Debo if he fell back to me. Dr. One, the Professor. What's up, JSU? Cyrus in the 12th star method with explosive CY Laspora. I mean, shit is off the rails right now. Cyrus Allen, I mean, I get it. I was drafting some Cyrus Allen in the 18th, 19th, 20th round, but Cyrus Allen, the 12th round, is just... This guy's feeling himself right now. Gretzky is feeling himself. He is feeling it. Close for, my bad. There you go. All right, we're back up on the clock here. Can't forget to make my pick. Mess up here. So I took Strange. I didn't even necessarily need a third 10 on this team, but I do not love what's left on the board here. Isaac Tesla goes. I don't mind Jalen Naylor. There's just not much else that's good. Travis Hunter at 158, I think is fine. Juwan Jennings is fine. Yeah, let's go Naylor. Screw it. We'll take Naylor. I think Naylor is I don't want to say like the best option, but I feel like he at least has a shot. They just don't have a lot of bodies at wide receiver, so my wide receivers need some help, but that's okay. We got a CeeDee Lamb, Luther Burden, Christian Watson, Michael Pittman Jr., and Jalen Naylor as my 5 receivers right there. I guess it depends on what you think of Luther Burden. If you think he's a horse. Rich, week 1 salaries are up on DK. Merry Christmas, everyone. That's right. Merry Christmas. Week 1 sales are up. Contests are up. It's time to start jamming in week 1 contests already. Multiple million makers on DraftKings. Nothing's changed. DK's still pushing it hard. Love to see it. The $5 millie's fun too. Little fun dart throw for week 1. I'm not a huge 150 guy for DFS, but for those type of tournaments, I do like it. Fun. Always love the they got such good like 3 max contests. This is not a 555. This is a 25, Neil. We're getting our 25s up right now. The 555s on Sunday. Bring your wallet, Neil. I better see you in there Sunday. We're ripping them. Oh, and then also I got a guest coming on next Friday around this time. Well, I don't know the exact time actually, but hopefully around this time. Guy John Daigle should be coming on with me next Friday, hopefully coming on, and we're gonna rip a 555 to then as well. So, but yeah, Sunday streams are for the high stakes crew, Neil. So if you're looking to get in on the action, Neil, you want to get in on a draft, I'll see you Sunday. By the way, everyone, go check out Neil's podcast. Best Ball Whenever. Check it out. He's got some of the best guests going on there. My guy Daigle was on I think this past Wednesday. He's got some really sharp guys. So make sure you check that podcast out. My guy Neil Orfield on the Flannelverse channel. I got my hat right here. The FV. Flannelverse. Of course he gave an RPS shout out. He's the man. We are fans of Daigle, and Daigle's fans of us, apparently. All right. So, we're just going to do the Trey Harris thing. My running backs are Kenny Walker, Tony Pollard, Kenny Gainwell, and Keaton Missile. Could be better. I'll say that. Jonah Coleman goes. All right, we'll do the Trey Harris thing. Why not? The question is, who do I want with my next pick? That is the question. Katron Allen goes. You know what? Neil just joined the channel. I got some Christian Watson. Let's take a Tank Dell. Why the hell not? We like Tank Dell. I'll save my 555s for when Felix is streaming and I can get Gibbs at 102. Yeah, there you go. Smart man. That is true, though. If you draft with Felix Castro, my other guy, if you draft with him, you have a real shot if he gets the 101 of you getting Gibbs at 102 or Bijan at the 3. So it's enticing. We draft on Thursdays, pretty much. Neil, I don't see you in those drafts. You got to get in on the Thursday drafts. Every time we draft, you have a chance. Because he does it every time. I've never seen him once change. He takes Chase every time at the 1. He's number 1 is Chase. All right. Listen, stuff. Get that stuff out of the way. Move it to another day, okay? Change it around. Whatever you got to do. I expect better. Yeah, Najee, just, I've tried to talk him out of the Najee bullshit so many times, and he's like me. He's stubborn. He refuses to listen. I respect it, though. I respect that. Always got to respect a guy who's he's principled. All right, so we got a Herbs, Lamar Jackson. Do you know Breaking Boards creator? Yeah. My guy Randy, he watches this show. Yes, he he was actually on one of the first few streams I did way back. I don't know, May? Yep, I do. He streams a lot too, or he's on a lot. Nice guy. Really nice guy. Knows ball. Yeah, the Manungai fall has been fascinating. We don't know what's going on. Has there been a report yet about what's actually happening? Okay. You know who I'm not taking? Again, is Jeremy Kick. Stop telling me to take Jeremy Bernard. I refuse. I'm refusing the Jeremy Bernard love. Well, let me take Surratt. Is there a running back I can sell myself on? I have Tony Pollard. I don't really want to do the Nick Singleton thing. Justice Hill does go with my quarterback, but that just feels gross. God, these running backs are so ass. These running backs are so bad. I guess I could do Helani. You know, I could do the Kamani Vidal thing. I've never done it with the missile, but I do think it'd be more like a bet against Hampton. Yeah, let's do it. I have Justin Herbert. I need a running back too. Like Kenny Walker, Tony Pollard, Kenny Gainwell, Keaton Missile, Kamani Vidal. I definitely needed another running back there. I just needed some depth. And I've never done that. I mean, I have a shitload of Keaton. I've never taken Keaton and Kamani. And I think that's more a backfield that I could sell myself on. Like those two guys going together. They go so late. And I think like if Hampton did go down and this fell perfectly, you're probably getting like a almost split backfield, which in a Mike McDaniel offense would, I think both guys could smash. So don't take Kamani often, but I do think that's one way to do it. There you go. Oh yeah, he comes up to Maine. That's where you're from, Trevor? Maine? Nice. I used to go up to Maine with one of my buddies when I was a kid who had a house up there, and I forget where, but it was just like around just like nowhere, like middle of nowhere. And we almost got lost. We were ATVing all over the place, and the trails in Maine are insane. And we got lost for like hours. We had like no idea how to get back. And it was pretty freaking scary. Not gonna lie. It got like dark and everything too. I mean, we were just like ripping it up and then like lost track of time and did not realize where we were. Did not realize we didn't know how to get back home. Like one of us should have known how to get back to the trail. And we didn't eventually figure it out, but we said we'd be back in like a couple hours, and it was like 8 hours later. So it was a long time to be out. Haven't been up there though in a while. Cool place. Maine's a cool place. Very nice. I think it was the last time I went ATVing though. Yeah, I'm sure it could. I'm sure it happens a lot, actually, the more I think about it. I don't know if it was 8 hours, but it was a long time. We were out there for hours. It was a while. All right, let's see here. We can take a few shots on some of my favorite clicks. I do think, unfortunately, this team needs a 6th running back. The kick is saying, nah, bro, you need a wide receiver. Pat Bryant goes. Maybe the kick's just like, yeah, your running backs, the running backs here aren't good. I'm going to take a shot on James Conner. Maybe he gets traded. I don't really have much, but you never know there. And then it'll give me at least one of my clicks here. I'm either going to go Jacoby Lane or Brennan Thompson. So who do I have with the Chargers? So I have Trey Harris. I've got the 2 running backs, and I think that's it. And then from Baltimore, I've got Surratt and Mark Andrews. Okay. Brennan Thompson. Do I keep the Thompson love going, or do I take Lane here? What do I do? Do I Brennan Thompson, Jacoby Lane? Which one do I want? You know, I talked up Brennan Thompson hard. Oh, man. Let's do it. Let's do it. Brennan Thompson it is. We finish up the way we started. Drafting more Brennan Thompson. I got, I think 19% on DK and like 24 or 25% on UD. So decent enough bags. Wish I had a little more, but good enough for me. I've never been snowmobiling. But I heard it's really fun. My neighbors have snowmobiles, and they may or may not rip it up somehow when it snows out here. Just like around a little, they have a little like circle that they'll rip it up sometimes. Unfortunately, sometimes it goes through my my driveway in my yard, but I don't care. Yeah, it's not bad, right? It's not terrible. No, they don't. Snow machining? Why are we changing things? I mean, come on. First Travis Etienne, and now snowmobiling has to be ruined. I mean, come on. Snow machining. All right, here's the team here. This is the last squad to finish us out here. We got the baseball show coming up at 5 p.m. Eastern time with Stevie Boynton in DC. So make sure you guys hang out and check that show out here on the channel. But we got a 2-6-9-3 build. CeeDee Lamb, Kenneth Walker, Colston Loveland, Luther Burden. Who loves the Bears? Let's go. Lamar Jackson, Christian Watson, Tony Pollard, Justin Herbert, Kenny Gainwell, Michael Pittman, Mark Andrews, Keaton Missile, Bretton Strange, Jalen Naylor, Trey Harris, Tank Dell, Elijah Surratt, Kamani Vidal, James Conner, and Brennan Thompson to finish us out in this draft here. I do like, some like how I have these like late wide receiver runs, because I do think there's more potential at the wide receiver position. I love that I got a stud tight end like Colston Loveland. I enjoy those builds. I got 2 very good quarterbacks in Lamar and Justin Herbert. Lamar falling to 59 feels really good. And, I don't have like a crap load of Lamar, but when he's falling like that, I think you just got to take him. If he's the best player on the board, he's the best player on the board. Then I get the Christian Watson in the 6th round. Tony Pollard fell to 83. A few picks past 80 or 10 picks past ADP. Michael Pittman, I got the ADP fall on from 92 to 110. Yeah, I got some solid falls, I feel like, in general. The Brenton Strange pick, honestly, I didn't love it, but there wasn't much I loved in that range in general. I was kind of hoping on the Deebo Samuel. Deebo Samuel went at 151. Was kind of hoping he fell, but it is interesting. I think it's the last. Deebo Samuel hasn't gone as high as I thought he was going, at least in the few drafts I've done. I've heard guys talking about pulling him up into like where the Pearsall range, where Pearsall was going, like in that range, not exactly like 98, but in like the 110s or something like that. It's interesting to me. Maybe it's going to take a little bit to see him out there and everything like that. But I do think overall, still in the 150s, that's a really good pick. Like, that's not going to stick. So take it. If you see Deebo in the 150s, just take it now. I would still draft it now. That's not going to stay the same there. I mean, if he stays healthy, he's going to smash that ADP. I don't care. San Francisco, they're all old, whatever. The offense is still going to turn out some points for guys like Deebo, I think, who was kind of made in the system, right? He's a good receiver, but the system really brought the best out of him. I would expect it. I don't see why it wouldn't here as well. And they kind of have no choice of the matter. A lot of people are high on Saints this year. I think the Saints are due for some regression. I think with the whole offseason, teams figure out Tyler Shuck. I could be wrong. We'll see. Yeah, I think it's more like people are bought into Kellen Moore and the offense as a whole, right? And then they added ETN and Jordan Tyson. So like they're adding all these like pieces, things they needed. On top of it, a lot of people are kind of sold on the coach, which I am too. I think Kellen Moore's a pretty good coach. So maybe you might be right. Here's the problem with the regression is, man, their division is cheeks. It's so bad. Like, I like Baker Mayfield. I think the Bucs are going to be like a middling to maybe below average team. I think it's just like all the things going wrong with them. Vita VA wanting to trade, like that's not going to end well. I think it's probably going to end up a below 500 year for the Bucs, even in that bad division. I think the Falcons are going to be below 500. So it's really just the Panthers and Saints in that division. And I think one of them ends up above 500. Maybe both of them could end up around there. But so the Saints to me are like 1 or 2 in that division, just by almost default of, I think, ascension. Like some teams, they seem like they're at least trying to go upwards, whereas like some of these teams are just being pulled down. And I think they're just in a good division, so they just get like a better draw than some other teams, who might be better but in tougher divisions, like friggin' Minnesota. You know what I mean? Or like that division. I mean, shit, put any of those teams, Lions, Bears, Packers, Vikings, put any of those teams in the Saints division and, they're probably winning it hands down. Ooh, you like DeMarcus Robinson over Deebo. That's a hot take. How about Jordan Watkins? They were pumping Jordan Watkins up a little bit. I wouldn't forget about him as like a late stash in best ball, 20th round flyer. No one's going to probably draft him, or not much. So, all right, that's going to do it here for this show. I'll be back on Sunday. somewhere in the afternoon, 12, 1, somewhere at that time. We'll rip a 555 on DraftKings. We'll maybe rip a couple $25 as well over on DraftKings. So get over there, guys. Hopefully a bunch of you guys opted in, got that $5 ticket from DraftKings to get in that $25 contest. I tried to post it and get as many people to see it as I could. But that's going to do it here. Stay tuned. Baseball show will be at 5 p.m. Eastern time with Steve Boyan in DC. So check that show out. I am JSU. Good luck in your drafting over on DraftKings. And I'll see you guys Sunday. Peace.